Okay, so we're quickly going to look at how to upward continue your data. And so you can see on my screen here I've got some magnetic data. And so this anomaly going from west to east is a regional anomaly. It's got a long wavelength. And then these smaller circles are shallower sills that are much higher frequency, shorter wavelengths. And so I want to upward continue the data to try and get rid of these high frequency signals and just to focus on this long wavelength signal. And so what you're going to do is we want to use this mag map menu up here. If you don't see it up top, just go to GX, load menu, and then scroll down to mag map, click on it, and click open. And once you do that, this mag map menu will come up. So I'm going to go to this first part, one-step filtering. You can do different options here. There's also analytic signal, tilt derivative. You can play around with these other options. So I'm going to click on the first one, one-step filtering. And then input grid file. I'm going to choose this grid file here. So I've called it test. Please be sure to call it something more helpful than test. I've got a lot of files in this one. I'm going to search for it. Okay, that's my input file. And now giving the output file name. I'm going to call it test and then add details onto it. Sorry, my computer's just searching. There we are. Test, and then I'm going to give it more details. So I'm going to say here UC for upward continue, and I'm going to say 1,000 because I'm going to upward continue to 1,000 meters. Something to be careful of, you can see here this SRF actually means that I'm loading a surfer grid file, and that's not correct. This is actually a Geosoft grid file. Obviously the last time I used this feature I clicked on surfer grid. So this I can tell you the Geosoft grid, so I'm going to click up here and here as well. I'm going to change it to a Geosoft grid. If I've got surfer selected and it isn't a surfer grid, it's obviously going to give me problems. I'm now going to click on filter, and I'm going to click select here. You can see there's lots of options. Butterworth filter, derivatives, so vertical derivatives, horizontal derivatives. You can choose first or second order derivatives. You can see here if I click on it, I can choose X, Y, Z and the order of the derivative. High pass filter, low pass filter, reduced to pole, tons of options here. I'm going to choose upward continuation, and like I said, I'm going to do it to 1,000 meters. So I think that the units here are the units of your grid. It could just be meters. If you're not sure, you click on this question mark. My computer's a bit slow. The distance h in ground units to continue up relative to the plane of observation. So in ground units to me means whatever your x and y units are. So you obviously want to make sure that you're in meters. You can then apply multiple filters at once. You would just select the next filter, second or third filter here. At the moment I just want to focus on one. I like to do one at a time because you really can just see what that filter is doing. It gets a bit complicated if you have more than one. I click on OK. This con file, this control file, I'm not sure 100% about it. You can read up on it, but there definitely needs to be a file here. In the past, when I haven't had a con file here, like it doesn't actually create it. You have to have one there from the beginning. So what I just did was I literally went to Notepad, had a blank text file, saved it somewhere. So let's say, for example, let me show you an example. File save as, I'm going to save it on my desktop and literally call it test. Save, and it's blank. I close it. I go to my desktop. Let's just find it. Sorry. Okay, here it is. And I literally just change the extension. So I click on it, I change this to CON. Click elsewhere, it'll probably moan at me. It says it's going to be unstable. I just click yes. So I go back here and I look for this file. Okay, so there does have to be a file here. I've never played around with this pre-processing grid. I'll put pre-processing grid. Yeah, you can if you want to. You can see if it's worth it. Click on OK. Okay. There are less than 5 lines in the control file. So that means you do need to have a con file. That's interesting because I've always had problems in the past, like sometimes I haven't had a control file. Okay. Well, I'm going to load an existing con file. Actually. Okay, well, if you have the same problem, pop me a message and I can email you an old con file. You seem to have something, but I'm not sure. Maybe it does create it for you, but in the past, when I've done it, it hasn't created it for you, which is a bit complicated if you do need one. Maybe I've missed something. Please send me a message if you can figure out what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this one. It's an old con file of mine. Let's see if it works. But yeah, send me a message if you need me to send you this file. Hopefully it creates it for you. Sorry if I'm doing something wrong. Send me a message if I am. And I apologize. I would redo this video and correct my comment that you don't need anything in the con file. But this is like the second time I'm creating this video and I keep on getting interrupted. So I think I'm just going to post this video and not wait. Okay, so this is the upward continued. Let's put them next to each other. Okay, and if you've got them both open and you click on this central icon here with the brown squares, it changes the extent so that they're exactly the same. Okay, and a nice thing to do as well is to make the color scale linear. It makes it easy to compare them. Let's click on this left-hand one. You can see it's exponential here. So I'm clicking on linear. I'm not going to give actual limits. Oh, it might be worth us playing around. We'll go back to it now. I'm going to click on the right-hand window. I go here to Group Manager Tool. I go under Data. I double-click on the data. Also exponential. I change that. I click OK. Oh, this is a disaster. Okay, I'm going to reset that. So let's not do it that way. You can see here if I move my mouse up and down, it shows which colors map to which data values. So the colors on the left axis, the data values are on the x-axis down here. So it's currently going, if we click on this linear, it's creating a linear trend from -350 approximately to 740. If I put my mouse here, you can actually see that the majority of the data is not by -350, it's actually by about -100. If I go up, it goes to about 120, not 2, I forget the number, 740. So there's a lot of colors being mapped to numbers that don't really have much data to it. You can see the majority of the data is in this region here. So I'm going to change the limits from -100 to +120. -100, +120 at intervals of about 5. And it moans that there's not enough colors or something, but that's okay, it adjusts it for you. I click OK, and so you can see it's now got a linear color scale going across there, and I've got a strong positive for this regional feature and a strong blue negative for the regional feature, and then you're seeing these cells come through. And I'm actually going to take these exact values, -95 and 115, and try to plot them. Sorry guys, I clicked close, I didn't click OK. Let's do that. -115, 95. If you don't click OK. It doesn't save it, obviously. OK, so we're going from minus 110 to 90. It's become a bit positive now because it's adjusting the numbers for you. Oh, sorry. It's because the positive was 120, it wasn't 90. Okay, let's click OK. Still moans at us. Okay, that's better. Let's go here. It's minus 105 to 115. Okay. Sorry. It changes it every time. Minus 100 to 110. I'm going to click close here so it doesn't change these values. You have to click OK here so it saves it. And then I'm going to click on this window here. And I'm going to go minus 100. I have the worst memory in the world, so I'm not even sure if those were right. Okay, it's fine. It's going to adjust it slightly. Okay, so the reason why we went through that whole ordeal there was to try compare them now. So on the left here is the upward continued data. On the right here is the normal original magnetic data. And so you can see we've got this regional feature. We've got these smaller high-frequency sills. And these are actually, these are also darks, I think, coming through. This is a dark coming through here. And so if we go here to the upward continued data, you can see we're really seeing a lot more regional features. A lot of these high-frequency signals are being blurred out. So we're really mainly focusing on this here. You're still seeing the outlines of the sills. I mean, if you were trying to get rid of the sills, I'd probably upward continue it again. But it really is starting to blur out and just focus on these deeper crustal features. So that's an example of how to use upward continuation. Apologies that the video was a bit of a runaround, but I hope you learned something.